I think the theme of that play was vampires are human, too.
Yeah, I think the theme of that play was there's a sucker born every minute.
Say, that's interesting.
Ann, honey, it's not interesting. It's funny. I thought the play was so bad that we were suckers for going. And vampires are suckers. It was a little joke that encompasses all of that. And if I could buy back the last 3 minutes of this conversation, I would.
Oh, no, Donald, that was funny. That really was funny.
And too late.
It's 12 o'clock. Who could that be?
Who could that be?
It's me, Albert Berg, U.S. Diplomatic Corps.
U.S. Diplomatic Corps?
U.S. Diplomatic Corps?
That's right, sir. I wish to speak with a Miss Anne Marie.
What could he want with me?
What could you want?
It's a matter of federal importance. May I please come in? I'm sorry to barge in at this late hour. Actually, it wasn't my idea to barge in. I just do what I'm told, and I was told to barge in on you. Oh, my kid. Not in those terms, actually, but very simply and in a manner that can be understood. My supervisor called me just about 15 minutes ago. He gave me your name and your address, and he said, get over to that address right away. Uncle Sam wants that girl.
Diamonds, daisies, snowflakes, that girl, chestnuts, rainbows, springtime. Girl, she's tinsel on a tree. She's everything that every girl should be. Sable, popcorn, white wine. That girl, gingham, bluebirds, Broadway. Is that girl? She's mine alone, but luckily for you, if you find a girl to love, only one girl to love, then she'll be that girl too. That girl!
What does the diplomatic service want with Ann?
Well, believe it or not, Mr. Hollinger, we want to enlist her aid.
That darn women's lib, they got me drafted.
Oh, no, you haven't been drafted. You see, I am here to ask you to volunteer for a diplomatic mission.
Oh.
Could I see those credentials again, please?
Oh, sure.
Thank you very much. Excuse us, please.
Hmm.
Thank you.
You think he's a phony?
They certainly look official.
Who's Joe DiMaggio?
He played for the Yankees. Center field.
Right.
I saw that movie, too. That's how they found out that the American soldier was really a Japanese spy. If they hadn't seen through that ruse, it wouldn't have worked out.
Okay, Mr. Berg, here you are. Why don't you sit down, sir, and tell us what this is all about?
Oh, thank you. Well, to put this as simply as possible, tomorrow night, our State Department is giving a dinner for the heads of several of our newer countries, including Kuwali.
The manganese capital of the world.
Very true.
With which we have been hoping to sign a trade agreement.
You're very knowledgeable.
Donald works for Newsview magazine. He knows all about countries and manganese and subscriptions and things.
Oh, well, then you probably know also that the King of Kuwali is unmarried.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until an hour ago when my boss called me and told me that he wanted to take you to dinner tomorrow night.
Your boss wants to take me out to dinner tomorrow night?
Oh, no. The King of Kuwali wants to take you to dinner.
Oh, the King of Kuwali wants to take me? Me he wants to take? The cow of King Wally?
King of Kuwali.
Wants to take me? You're kidding. You're not kidding. Are you kidding? Donald, is he kidding?
You knew who Joe DiMaggio was.
You're not kidding.
No, I'm not.
Well, somebody's got to be. Jerry Bauman. Jerry Bauman, he loves a practical joke. He's my neighbor, and I'll bet he called you, see, and said that he's your boss. And...
honey.
Well, Donald, why would the King of Kuwali want to take me out? He's never met me. I don't even know who he is. I don't know any Kuwalians.
Kowaleans.
See, that proves it.
You see, in the week that the King has been here, he has seen you several times on some commercial in which you are the Duchess Ducky of Diet Soda Land.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Well, evidently you have captured his eye. I understand he's single, and...
Yeah, but hold it. Just hold it. If you want to talk about the king and his manganese taking Anne-Marie to dinner, that's one thing. But if you're going to get into eye-capturing and single, that's another.
Yes, Donald is right, Mr. Berg. We're engaged.
Oh, I'm sorry. The eye-catching and single mention was purely my own conjecture. I actually was only advised that he would like to take you to dinner, and he would be honored to escort you.
Oh, yeah, right. He wants her to join him for dinner, and he will pick her up. That's not like a date, where he would pick her up and she would join him for dinner.
Oh, no.
Listen, Mr. Berg, I still find this whole thing impossible to believe.
Oh, please believe me, it is true, every word of it.
You know, our relations with Koali must be in an awful lot of trouble if the State Department is going into the blind date business.
Well, to put it simply, you're right.
That's putting it simply, Donald. Do I have to give you my answer right now?
Oh, you just think it over, and you can tell me in the morning.
Listen, if I do decide to do it, do I get a free government pass into movies or something like that? No, never mind. That was silly. Good night.
Good night. Oh, and one last chance to apologize again for the lateness of the hour.
Oh, no, listen, it's not your fault. It'd be just as late even if you hadn't come over.
Very true.
Yes. Good night.
Good night.
Donald, this is just like a movie.
Yeah, Annie and the King of Koali.
Yeah, Annie and the King of Koali. Oh, Donald, I just can't believe it. I mean, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. A king, and all from that silly commercial.
See, I was right.
About what?
The Duchess Ducky costume. I told you it was the sexiest outfit you ever had on, and you told me I was crazy. But you see, a girl can't judge if a girl is sexy. Only men can. Like me. I'm the King of Koali.
You know, Donald, this is really a kind of an honor, too.
Yeah, well, sure. It's not every duchess that has a chance to become a princess, even if it is only for one night.
Oh, Donald, I'm so excited. I just can't believe how excited I am. I mean, I really feel silly. I'm so excited. Oh, Donald, I'm sorry.
For what?
Well, I mean, getting all this way about being invited out by a king.
Oh, honey, look, don't be sorry. It's natural. You should be excited. And you should accept his invitation.
Well, after all, we are engaged, and it is a date with another man.
Oh, honey, he was right. It's not a date. It's like an assignment, a request from your country.
Well, I was just thinking how I'd feel if the positions were reversed, and you had to go out.
Well, I'd have to decide if he were my type.
Oh, Donald, you really don't feel funny about it at all. I mean, you're not at all jealous.
Of course not, honey. Of course not. I mean, I'm a mature adult above petty jealousies, who has complete trust in you, who wants you to share every great experience life has to offer.
Uh-huh.
And who is going to make a fortune when he writes up your date with the king for his magazine. You see, I am coming along, too. Yes, I am.
Finished?
Yeah, just about.
Say, where's Ann? I thought you was meeting us here for lunch.
She'll be here any minute.
Good. It's not every day I get a chance to eat with a potential queen.
What are you talking about?
Well, he is a king, and if she appeals to him, you know what I mean?
He'll notice she has a ring on her third finger.
Well, what does a ring on her third finger mean to a king? He'll buy her an extra thumb, so it'll be on her fourth finger.
Hi.
Hi, honey.
I'm sorry I'm late.
My eyes are dazzled by your brilliance, Your Highness. How beneficent of you to grant us access to your royal table for din-din.
Oh, come on, Donald. I've only got 45 minutes to eat.
What happens then? You turn into a pumpkin?
No, I've got to get back to my apartment. Mr. Berg is bringing over the jewels I'm going to wear tonight. How much are they worth, Mr. Berg?
$75,000, according to their latest appraisal.
Oh, my gosh. I'd be afraid to wear such an expensive necklace.
What if she loses it?
It's covered by a government insurance policy.
You know, my engagement ring looks like the pit from this necklace. Sorry, Donald.
Miss Marie, these jewels are put away for such occasions. We want you to look like a princess.
It's just that I've never worn a piece of jewelry whose insurance premiums are worth more than I am.
Excuse me, sir, but, does the king have a brother?
No, not to my knowledge. Now, which of these tiaras would you like for tonight?
You mean I get to wear those, too?
Just one of them. They're each worth about $40,000.
$40,000. I could buy a new freezer.
Well, I think I like this one better.
That's very interesting, because that's the one that's worth $42,000. The other one is only worth $38,000.
Oh, well, cheap is cheap.
And it's just like Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier.
I know. She was an actress, too.
Well, that's exactly what I mean, and he was only a prince. You have a full king.
Isn't that unbelievable, Ruthie? I mean, kings are people you read about and hear about. You never even meet them, let alone go out with them.
Cinderella.
You're right. I wonder if I've got the right shoes.
And you have plenty of shoes. What am I gonna wear tonight?
Where are you going?
Oh, well, I thought Jerry and I might come over to meet him. But of course, if you don't think it's right, I mean, if you think it's wrong, then we wouldn't want to. Well, I mean, if it's not the custom of your country.
Oh, I'll just be a second.
You better hurry, honey. King somebody will be here any minute.
Oh, my gosh, that's right. I'm going out with somebody and I don't even know his name. Donald. How do I look?
Hey, honey, he'll be here any second. Don't you think you ought to get dressed?
Donald. Oh, Donald. Donald.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Take it easy. Take it easy. Come on. Come on. Take it easy now. Come on.
Oh, wait.
Honey, you don't have... Come on. You don't have to do that.
Wait. Will you wait? Now, wait. Now, wait 1 second. Wait. All right. Okay, all right. All right, now, open the door.
Hurt your back?
Looks stunning. Do I?
Ravishing is a better word.
Do I really? What about the jewels? Do they look as good on me as they did in the box?
Better.
They could fool anyone.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thanks for letting us come over to meet him.
Oh, I wish you could come along.
Me too.
I still haven't told her I'm secretly the king of Lithuania.
Jerry. It's him. That's him. Okay, wait. Donald, wait a minute. Let me just get ready. Okay, all right, now, just act natural. You're right. Smile. All right,
Good evening, everybody. His Royal Excellency, the King of Koali.
Good evening. I'm very pleased to meet you, Your Highness. I would like to present my fiancé, Mr. Donald Hollinger of 73rd Street.
How do you do?
Very well, thank you, Mr. Hollinger.
This is the King's personal bodyguard and his Secretary of Government.
How do you do?
If you will present your friends to me, madam, I shall be very pleased to present them to His Highness.
Oh, fine. This is Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Bauman.
Your Highness, Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Bauman.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Bauman.
Good evening.
Shh.
What he said.
Oh, maybe we're not supposed to...
It's quite all right, really.
Oh. Hi! That's an expression we use in this country. It means hello. Well, bye. Nice to see you.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a pleasant time.
Miss Marie, might I ask a favor of you so early in our acquaintance?
Oh, of course, Your Honor. Highness.
Could you talk in duck for me?
I beg your pardon?
That's it. It wasn't the costume in the commercial. It was the ducky voice he liked.
I found it and Miss Marie entirely amusing. Would you do it for me?
Yes, I'd be very happy to. To stay within your low-fat quota, drink Duchess Ducky Diet Soda.
Oh, superb. Just marvelous.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
It is time for us to go to the embassy, Your Majesty.
You dare to interrupt? I shall wait for you in the limousine.
Oh, fine.
I'm sorry. I honestly had no idea. But you realize that you can't be forced to go through with this. But I can't tell you what it might do to the public and diplomatic relationship with the king if we stood him up at this point.
Don't worry, Mr. Berg. I'm very happy to go along with it.
Oh, very well.
Oh, Donald, you'll be in the car right behind us.
Yeah, honey, I'll be right behind you.
Oh, Mr. Berg, in light of these new developments, I do think we should discuss money.
What money?
Well, I usually get $1.50 an hour for babysitting.
Two corned beef on rye, one roast beef open, and a chopped liver.
Is your bodyguard calling the embassy?
Yes, he will explain our brief delay.
You really think it's a good idea to have a hot dog before dinner, Your Majesty?
Miss Marie, I realize that you are not familiar with the ways of my country, but no one questions me. Shall we sit?
Well, there doesn't seem to be a table right now. We'll have to wait.
Wait, I wait for no one.
Well, there doesn't seem to be a table, so this...
You there, come here.
Just a minute, I'm busy.
You will come here, now.
Your Majesty, we don't talk to people like that here.
Miss Marie, please do not interrupt when I address the servants.
What do we got here? Trick and treat?
I am the King of Kuali.
How do you do? I'm the Prince of Pastrami.
I demand a seat, immediately.
You'll wait like everybody else. And I'll call you when I have a table for you and your mother.
Your Highness, you really don't have to blow on it. A milkshake already comes cold.
I'm trying to find my cherry. It fell into the whipped cream.
Oh, well, why don't you try fishing it out with a spoon?
Because if I put a spoon into the glass, the ice cream will flow over the sides.
Oh, well, why don't you try sipping it down with the straw? Then you can fish it out with the spoon. Now what's wrong?
The cherry is clogging the straw.
Oh, well, why don't you just move the straw over?
I've had enough of this. Waiter! Waiter!
Please, Your Majesty, please lower your voice.
Waiter!
Your Majesty, please, let's not have a scene.
Miss Marie, I cannot tolerate insubordination from any servant of any class, whether it be a waiter or an actress.
Now, just a minute. There are no classes in America, Your Majesty.
What's all the commotion?
I demand a new milkshake with a cherry in it that doesn't sink to the bottom like lead.
Ah, his cherry sank to the bottom. I'll get you a new cherry.
I don't want another cherry. I want a whole new milkshake.
What am I going to do with this one? Throw it out?
What you do with it after you take it away is of no concern to me.
Either you take a new cherry or you get nothing.
Are you refusing me, a king?
No, I'm refusing you a milkshake.
Oh, Donald, will you stop it? It is not funny. It is not one bit funny.
Oh, honey, it is. Look at that brat. And the caption is classic. Young king has cool head.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Nothing's gonna happen.
Well, something's gonna happen, Donald. Why did Mr. Berg call and say he'd be right over this morning?
Because the diplomatic corps making a parfait out of the King of Quali is a big deal.
Boy, some diplomatic assistant I turned out to be. Give me enough time, I could have single-handedly alienated Canada, Mexico, and the Virgin Islands.
The Virgin Islands are a part of this country.
Give me an extra week, I could lose them and New Jersey. Who is it?
It's me, Albert Berg.
Oh, come in. Are you alone, or did you bring the firing squad?
No, I'm the firing squad. And on behalf of all of us in the diplomatic department, you're fired.
Washington is a little upset?
Well, let me put it this way. Oh, yes.
What's gonna happen?
Well, that's entirely up to you.
What does that mean?
Well, the government immediately wrote a letter of apology to the king.
Oh.
Just a minute. Did you put the blame on Anne in that note?
Oh, no. We put the blame on the circumstances, not on Anne. But the king refuses to accept our apology. He wants a direct apology from Anne.
He won't accept an apology from the government, but he'll accept one from me?
That's correct.
Oh, well, fine.
Honey, you don't have any reason to apologize.
Oh, Donald, yes, I do. I honestly am sorry that I poured ice cream on him. I mean, after all, I should have used my intelligence. I mean, he's a child. I should have reasoned with him. You can tell them honestly that I really am sorry.
Not enough. It is not enough. We will only accept a complete apology when Miss Marie admits that she was the cause of the incident, that she struck the king in anger, and had no justifiable reason.
Out of the question.
Donald, may I just speak to you for a minute?
Excuse us.
Donald, the only reason I decided to go out with the king in the first place was to do something good for my country. Well, so far, I haven't accomplished that.
I think you have. The kid needed ice cream thrown on him, and you did it perfectly.
Donald,
Excuse me. Let me make this perfectly clear. We are not demanding that you give him what he wants. But if you do, that would make matters much more simple. But if you don't, we will not involve you any further.
Excuse me. Sir, could you please arrange for me to speak to the king alone for a minute?
Anything you have to say to His Majesty, you may say to me.
Well, that really isn't necessarily true. Could you please just ask him?
I will speak with her. Excuse us.
So, you are king.
Yes, I am.
Well then, king, tell me who you think deserves an apology, because if you are to rule, you must rule with honesty and intelligence, and you, above all, must know who deserves an apology. Always.
The one who was wronged.
Definitely. I definitely agree. Now tell me who you think was wronged last night.
You struck me. I didn't strike you. I was wronged.
Yes, you were.
I was?
Yes, you were. And you're right.
I am? Really?
Mm-hmm. But tell me who else was wronged first.
Only I was wronged.
Your Majesty, you were wrong as well to the waiter. You were insulting and offensive to a man old enough to be your grandfather.
But in my country, servants are all...
This is not your country, Your Majesty. You have to understand that.
No! He was a meaningless person, below my class, and I am not wrong.
You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. You have no right to call yourself a king. You're not fair, you're not honest. I wouldn't even want you to be my friend.
I don't want you to be my friend.
Fine, that's just fine.
You're mean.
I am?
Yes, you're mean, and you're picking on me, and you're yelling at me, and I'm only 11.
Well, now, there you go. I think the very first sign of being a great and a wise and a sage old king is being able to admit you're 11 years old. Are these matters always this complicated?
Not quite, Miss Marie. Diplomatic apologies arranged between diplomats are always more formal than those arranged between a king and an actress.
Well, possibly not as fair. Shall we?
The apology from Anne Marie to the King of Kuali.
The apology from the King of Kuali to Morris Cohen, a waiter.
The apology from Anne Marie to the people of Kuali.
The apology from the Diplomatic Corps of the United States to the King of Kuali.
Here's Kuali. Good grief, it's tiny.
That's why they have a small king. The big countries have huge kings.
Oh, Donald. Now, come on, let's write the letter. What should we write to the king?
Well, I think you should write him a note thanking him for his invitation to us to spend our honeymoon there and accepting.
You really think we should go there?
Well, why not? They have great honeymoon rules in Kuali. I looked it up in the encyclopedia.
Honeymoon rules?
Yeah.
What honeymoon rules?
Well, it's just a tradition of the country that you follow in order not to offend them.
Oh, well, what is it?
Well, the honeymoon must last 7 days at least.
Oh, we have 2 weeks, don't we?
Right.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
The first 3 days of which the husband and wife are totally separated from each other.
What?
Both are placed in a totally relaxed environment in order to contemplate their future life together.
But,
Which is really not so terrible. The husband is fed and entertained by 20 of the most beautiful concubines in the king's harem, and the wife is equally entertained by an organ grinder and his monkey. Now, the dining habits are also
All right,
interesting.
knock it off.